Kenneth here for Field Goals, and today we're talking about fantasy football, specifically the rookies on the Seahawks and how they can contribute. The new season is coming up. I'm geared to finish in last place again, but hopefully you won't, and hopefully this helps a little bit. The Seahawks decided not to use their first round pick on a rookie, but instead traded for a pretty young guy still and a pretty talented guy in Harper. So they sent out the 25th pick and a 7th round pick and a 3rd round pick next year to get Harper, which is a great move for them. Probably the best move that they could have done in this draft. So no worries there, but he's not a rookie, so we're going to move on and talk about Christin Michaels, the running back out of Texas A&M. Michael was a 2nd round pick, and I think this isn't a done deal yet, but I think he's going to be the primary back behind Marshawn Lynch, and I think Pete Carroll wants to take it easy on Lynch, limiting him to 15 to 20 carries a game whenever possible. You want to keep him fresh and healthy and also active. You don't want to get him no carries. But I think that Michael is the second most talented back on this team, and I think that Pete Carroll is going to be using him generously. They aren't shy to realize that you never know when a guy is going to get hurt or whatever, so you want to make sure to get the most out of him when you can. And also, Michael just seems, some people thought he was the best running back in this entire class, and I think for that reason, he could get 300 to 400 yards in a backup role this year, maybe more. And I also think in the future could be very bright playing with Russell Wilson, who's going to be here for 20 years. So I'm very encouraged by Michael, not just this year. If anything happened to Marshawn Lynch, Michael would be a great pickup, and I think a must start if my vision is correct. So Christin Michaels, a guy that you handcuff if you draft Lynch, or if you don't draft Lynch, a guy that you might want to take late and then dangle in front of the Lynch owner or whatever you got to do. In the 4th round, the Seahawks took Harper out of Kansas State. There's pretty much no chance that Harper contributes in your fantasy league this year. He's entrenched pretty much at the 5th spot, which is great. He's probably definitely going to make the team. It would be a surprise if he didn't. He's definitely better than everyone else that's not in the top 4, but he's definitely, at this point, way behind the top 4. There's hard to see a way in which he goes over Doug Baldwin and or Golden Tate. But, there's always a chance that Sidney Rice gets hurt. There's always a chance that Percy Harvin gets hurt. And there's always a chance for Chris Harper to move up. But he's still, we have to preach 4th round rookie. I know we want everything out of players right away. I know we can envision their best case scenario. But let's be real. The best case scenario for Chris Harper this season is, a couple hundred yards, good practice, looking good out there. But, I don't think you're going to want to draft him, and I don't think you're going to have to worry that if he picks up a spot start in week 7 because someone gets hurt, that necessarily you're going to miss out on 90 yards. But you never know. Doug Baldwin happened 2 years ago. It's not hard to see that weird things happen. It's just nice to know that we don't have to sign Terrell Owens or Antonio Bryant. All right. Anyway, finally, I'm looking at tight end Luke Wilson out of Rice. Maybe one of the most physically gifted players in the draft. I mean, it's really off the charts. But because he's at Rice, he didn't play against anyone. You can't prove that. And as much as, again, we want to say that the physical is the only thing that matters in some cases, it's been proven time and time again that the school you play at and the competition you play against also really, really matters. So for that reason, I'm still skeptical of Luke Wilson. You should be. I believe, I'll put all my heart out there and say I hope that he gets everything. But, and he's also, he could be right now the number 2 tight end in this offense. We'll see what that means. There's still a chance that, he's the week 1 starter because Zach Miller's injuries. So we'll see what happens. I like the physical. I like the offense that he's in for him, and I think maybe he is a good project for 3 years down the line, but definitely not someone that I'm thinking of drafting this year. So out of that whole thing, you got Percy Harvin, who's not a rookie, and Christin Michaels, a late round pick, and if you're a Seahawks fan, just be grateful that you don't have any rookies that might contribute this year because the team is just so damn good.